The Champions League is finally back, boys and girls. The greatest and the biggest tournament there is. The tournament that I love the most is finally back tomorrow. And the league phase is also back. The league phase, which everyone seemed to enjoy. Everyone was vibing with it. They love the format. They love the style. They love the fact that they play 8 games. They play different kind of parts, different kind of teams. And it doesn't need to be in a little group stage where you play about 3 teams back to back to back. It's all different. Last season, Paris Saint-Germain won it. This time around, I see a lot of teams in there that can potentially win it. A lot of teams in there are much better compared to what they were last season. And this is why I feel like this season's Champions League version is going to be way better. And speaking about tomorrow, that's some big games. Wednesday, there's some big games. And Thursday, there is some big games. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the games which I think everyone is looking forward to most. Let's kind of predict every single game and preview somewhat different kind of games. But before we go any further, don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Of course, comment your own thoughts and which games you are looking forward the most. As we noticed last season, there is 36 teams, and every single team needs to start on a good note. As we saw last season, you don't have to be the biggest teams to finish within top 8. If you finish top 8, you go straight away to round of 16. Last season, we saw Monaco finish top 8. Liverpool finished top 8. Atlanta finished. Brest finished literally 9th or 10th last season. So you just have to have a good run and be very smart when to pick up crucial points. All you need is what we learned from last season. You need about 15 to 16 points to finish within top 8. And the rest, the playoffs. Bro, last season, Paris Saint-Germain, he won the tournament, playoffs. City was 1/2 away from being knocked out, but they finished in the playoffs. Real Madrid, the playoffs. Bayern Munich, the playoffs. So you don't have to be a massive team to finish the playoff. All you have to be is consistent. Win your games, get 15 points, and you set yourself a good little mark for you to have a good chance of going through. And at the moment, tomorrow's games, we've got Bilbao against Arsenal. Arsenal start the season very well. Bilbao did before they lost last game. I do feel, listen, Arsenal, I had them finishing top 2, top 3, finishing first in the league phase. They're very consistent. Arteta, I feel like he's set his team, and now with the depth they have, the quality which they have off the bench, I do feel like Arsenal is going to win this game. Then we've got PSV and Union. Listen, this is one of those games. These two teams, you pick up 3 points, you put yourself in a very good position early on, wallahi. Put yourself in a good position early on. You've got 3 points in the bag, and all you need in the next 7 games is about 5, 6 points, and out of nowhere, you're in the playoffs. More money, more TV rights, just everything about it. I don't really care about this game. But I do think it's going to be a PSV win. The same way I think Benfica's going to win this game, even though Benfica started the season on a bad note. Juve against Dortmund, so far, we've got the best game on paper in terms of heritage, in terms of Champions League DNA. And I feel like Juve is going to continue good form. They beat Inter Milan in the last second in a very entertaining Serie A game, and I do think they'll win this game. Real Madrid, Marseille, I already predicted this on my main channel. I already previewed this on my main channel, so go and check this out. The biggest talking point is because Jude Bellingham being back out of nowhere. Like, this guy was supposed to be back next month. He's now back about 6 weeks earlier than what expected, which I'm a bit skeptical about it. I'm not feeling too high about it, but I spoke about it in my last video. I predicted, of course, Madrid. I'm not going to say anything. Go watch that video if you want to hear my thoughts. Then Spurs against Villarreal, 2 teams which I feel like are going to have a very good tournament this season. I predicted Spurs to finish top 8 due to the run they have, the schedule they have. I feel like they've got most 5, 6 games which is winnable. And with Thomas Frank and what he's built and the players which they brought, Kudus and Xavi Simons, I do think that's going to be, and Villarreal as well. Villarreal started the season on a good note as well. I do think this is going to be interesting. Villarreal needs to bounce back after losing against Atleti, which is a surprise result to me. I feel like in this game, don't be surprised if Villarreal picks up a point in this game, because I do think they're going to tomorrow's game as the massive underdogs, and I think they could potentially pick up a point. Then Wednesday's games, Olympiacos against Paphos. This is a crazy Greece versus Cyprus matchup. I don't know if this has ever happened in the Champions League. Well, put down in the comments if you think it already has. I think this is the first time it ever has. I'm just going to go with an Olympiacos win here. Slavia Prague and Bodø Glimt. I'm looking forward to Bodø Glimt. Last season, they entertained. Of course, in the Europa League run, they went very far. They went to the semi-finals before losing to Spurs. In the Champions League qualifiers, they beat every single team that came in front of them. And now, Champions League, this league phase might favor them massively. I do feel like, low-key, we might see a little, playoff run maybe. You know what I mean? But I'm hoping Butterglen win because I do think they deserve it. And listen, the stadium is insane. That man have got like 2 people, fam, in the stadium. Insane. Ajax, Inter, I think Inter's going to win this game. Yes, they've started poorly, and everyone's making remarks about the fact that Simone Inzaghi's not there and Chivo's there. It's not going to be the same Inter, which I've heard about. Yes, they've lost about what? They drew because they lost both back-to-back games now. Udinese and, of course, Juve in both Serie A games. But I do think Inter's going to win tomorrow's game. Bayern Chelsea. This is, for me, if I had to look at about 3 games, this is arguably some of the 3 biggest games of this game week 1. And Bayern Chelsea is one of them. Chelsea is finally back in the Champions League. Bayern, they finished in the quarterfinals last season. Of course, they lost to... Who did they lose to? Who did Bayern lose to last season? It wasn't us. Because we beat Atleti. Who the hell did Bayern lose to last season? Was it Paris? They beat Leverkusen in the round of 16. Who the hell did they lose? I think it was Paris. I think Paris beat them, if I'm not mistaken. I think. But anyway, the point is, this is a big game. Bayern have started the season crazy. Fire, bro. Like, goals galore, fam. Every game, I see about 4 to 5 goals in the Bundesliga. Chelsea started the season hit and miss. They've won 2, drawn 2, but the schedule is easy. Like, the schedule, it should have been 12 points by Chelsea by now. They had the easiest schedule. I'm quite surprised they're leaving with 8 points, which is not what expected from them, like, start of the season. Cole Palmer is, of course, back. They're playing at Allianz Arena. This is a big matchup. I think that Chelsea is more suited to the Champions League format rather than they're suited to the league format. I think they've got Champions League players in there. I'm going to be interested to see who's going to start on the left-hand side. Gittins didn't have the greatest of games against Brentford. Garnacho came on and assisted, of course, but he was the responsible for the equalizer of Brentford, the last second goal. I feel like this is the biggest game. I'm going to go with Bayern winning. I do think Chelsea, they're going to learn from this. They're going to put a good fight, but I think Bayern's going to win this. I think the home crowd, I think the fact that they've got the confidence already, they've won every single game and they've been blowing teams by 4 or 5 goals. I think they're going to continue this momentum and carry that forward to Chelsea. And I think they're going to score about 3 goals. I think Chelsea's defense is not the best. The goalkeeper, we all know, but it's not the best. I do think Chelsea's going to concede about 2 to 3 goals this game. And I've got Bayern winning. Liverpool, Atleti, this is, again, one of the best 3 games of this game week. And Atleti hasn't started the season well. But they got a massive 3 points against Villarreal yesterday, which I was surprised. No, Saturday. I was surprised with. I had Villarreal winning because Villarreal started the season very well, and Atleti, they didn't win a single game within the first 3 games, and the players didn't perform well. Simeone felt like he wasn't really Simeoning, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. But Liverpool, 4 games, 4 wins. And now they bring Isak into the mix. This could be the first game that we see Isak playing for Liverpool. I think they are saving him to start him against Everton in the Premier League debut, but I do think he might start today's game because Liverpool, over the past couple games, hey man, last-minute goals every single game. So Isak might start. We might see a new Liverpool look. But I've got Liverpool winning this game, and I think this is the first game that Liverpool's going to win convincingly. I think Simeone ball and El Cholo ball, and people think he's going to park the bus. He's not going to park the bus. He's going to go attacking, but I do think Liverpool is going to score about 3 goals this game. Paris, Atlanta, ever since Gasperini left, they're not the same, even though they won, I think, the last both games. I think they won back. No, they drew. I think they won the last game, but not the game before that. Paris Saint-Germain are just too strong. They're too powerful. They are still, for me, the best team in the world, and I'm not gonna lie, yeah, they are still one of the heavy favorites to win it back to back. So Paris Saint-Germain is definitely gonna win this game. Then we have Thursday's games, and again, this is by the way, just making it very clear, this is the only time out of the 8 game weeks that there's going to be games being taking place on a Thursday. Europa League is not being played this week. So when Europa League is back next week and Conference League is back next week, not next week, the week after that is only going to be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Even though, I won't be real, even though I do really vibe with the Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. I do hope starting from next season we can see it more often. Because sometimes I'm annoyed where there's some big games they put on the same day. Like, brother, which game am I watching? Am I watching this? Am I watching that? At least today, yeah, at least with this, I know on Tuesday, I'm watching Madrid Marseille 8 p.m. Wednesday, I'm watching Bayern against Chelsea 8 p.m. On Thursday, hey man, let's talk about it. Before I tell you the game, I'm definitely going to be watching because that's going to be one of, for me, the second biggest game of this game week. We start with Club Brugge and Monaco. Both teams, by the way, Monaco finished within top 8 last season. Club Brugge had a good run. They finished within the playoffs last season before losing to Atlanta. No, they beat Atlanta. Club Brugge had a good run last season. I do think Monaco started the season very well. And I think they'll continue that. And that's why I've got Monaco win this game. Then we've got Copenhagen and Leverkusen. Listen, if you watch the SDS video, I had, out of nowhere, and I still believe it, I've got FCK, the Danish club, the biggest club in Denmark, finishing within top 8. I predicted it, and I still believe it. Their run looks good. Their run on paper looks good. They're playing against a team with a new manager. Yes, they won the last game with 9 players. Gramado scoring 2 free kicks. The Danish manager, actually, they've actually got a Danish manager going back to Denmark. Nice little storyline there. But I genuinely think Copenhagen can get something from this game. And that's why I got Copenhagen winning this game. I know, surprise. Frankfurt, Galatasaray, I'm looking forward to see Gala in the Champions League. I'm looking forward to see Gala, the players, the atmosphere in Turkey, of course. When they go back there, I want Gala to have a good run. And I'm hoping they can. Because I think Gala, Champions League, come on, man. It makes sense. It makes sense. Hopefully Gala, but I do think Frankfurt might win this game. City, Napoli, that is, of course, one of, not the 3, one of maybe 4 or 5 biggest games. The biggest storyline, of course, there is KDB going back to City. Conte, Champions League. Nah, man. Like, listen, Napoli started the season very well. They've won every single game there is. City have started the season hit and miss. Yes, they beat United, but fam, anyone can beat United, fam. STSFC can beat United. Iraq can beat United. I'm not surprised about United. United are just cheeks. So I'm not looking at this result and saying, oh my God, City's back. They're not. They've won 2, they've lost 2. But it's Conte Champions League, bro. Like, till I see Conte win at least in the round of 16, get to the quarters, then I can believe this Napoli team. Till now, I can't believe this Napoli. Yes, they got KDB. Scott McTominay's been crazy. They've bought a couple of players. Lukaku might be back. Whatever it is, yeah. Haaland's been scoring. I will never believe Conte in Champions League till I actually see him win an actual knockout stage win and not Celtic. Like, he's only won 2 ever in his career, and both of them against Celtics. Fam, if you can beat in the round of 16, come to the quarterfinals, then I'll be a believer. At the moment, nah, I've got City winning this game. Then we've got, for me, the second biggest game, or you can even arguably say the biggest game, Newcastle versus Barcelona. Oi, man, this is a big game. Newcastle, you already know, Champions League football, the vibe at St. James Park is massive. The last time a big team went to St. James Park, they got smacked by 4 goals. If you remember 2 years ago, Paris Saint-Germain, with Mbappe, with Koulibaly, with Dembele, I think Barcola started this game as well. They smacked by 4 goals, fam. 2 years ago, they beat the same team who won the Champions League last season. Just have that in mind. With Enrique, by the way. Have that in mind. So this is going to be massive. The biggest, for me, what's going to decide this game is whether Lamine Yamal will be healthy or not. Lamine Yamal didn't play last game. He was injured. Hansi Flick was fuming because Spain forced him to play, like, even though he was injured. And they gave him painkillers to play in a random qualifier when they were already winning like 4-0. So Spain treated Lamine Yamal badly. And I agree. Everything that Hansi Flick said in his press conference, he was fuming, by the way. I agree, because why would you play an 18-year-old in a random qualifier, which makes no sense, and you're already winning, and you give him painkillers, you're forcing him to play. That's bad treatment. Anyway, they beat Valencia 6-0. I spoke about it. I did my review. Go check my main channel for that. I'm just saying, without Lamine Yamal, Newcastle will get a result. If Lamine Yamal starts this game, Barca's going to win this game comfortably for me. If Lamine Yamal doesn't play, I can see the crowd. Voltemade is scoring in his Champions League debut for Newcastle. He scored in his Premier League debut. He might do it again. I can see Newcastle picking up a result without Lamine Yamal. With Lamine Yamal, Barca's going to win. And then we've got Sporting against Kairat. Big game, to be fair, because we are facing Kairat. And if Kairat wins this game and goes to Madrid and wins that game, then that's going to be, because we play Kairat next week, and not next week, in 2 weeks from now. So this is going to be crazy. But I think Sporting is going to be too strong for Kairat, and I think Sporting's going to win this game. But put down in the comments what you guys make of all those games and your predictions and the games that you, of course, will be looking for. Let's see by Thursday which team's going to be on 3 points and which team is going to be sitting on 0. Because, listen, one thing I learned, speaking from experience, because Madrid played the league phase last season, you have to start the league phase on a good note. If you start losing, you can't think the mentality, well, there's 8 games, I can maybe lock in 4 games from now. You can't do that. Like, brother, Madrid last season, after 4 games, we had 3 points. We lost 3 games. And then out of nowhere, the top 8, it's out of reach, fam. I can't even look at it. So that's why you have to start this league phase on a good note. That's why every team now, 3 points is crucial. Game week 2 is crucial. Game week 3, this is why the league phase is so interesting, because previously with the group stages, you can afford to lose the first game, the second game, because you know you're going to place the same team again. Now, you play them once, and that's it. And the other team is going to play a different team, so now you rely on other teams. That's why you have to win every single game. This is why this format is incredible. Parasite, by the way. Anyway, put down in the comments what you guys think. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you with a review after all those games are done. And I'll be doing watch-alongs on my main channel for Madrid on Tuesday. Wednesday is Bayern Chelsea, and Thursday it's Barca against Newcastle. Catch you there. Peace.